This year is the 10-year anniversary of Bloodborne. Bloodborne, developed by From Software and directed by the psychopath Hidetaka Miyazaki, was released on March 24th in 2015. Bloodborne released exclusive for the PlayStation 4 and is one of the few games that is still exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Yeah, no ports or remasters or remakes. I didn't really like exclusive games coming to PC because, well, that's the main reason you buy a PlayStation, but Bloodborne is actually the only game that I want a new PC release. Everybody, including me, wants to play Bloodborne in 4K or even 1440p and stop burning their eyes with locked 30 FPS in the PlayStation 5 Pro era. But I guess From Software doesn't seem to have any thought of making a remake or a remaster. I personally don't understand. This is one of, if not the most wanted exclusive game to come to PC, and with the popularity of Elden Ring, Bloodborne will sell like hotcakes. I might just have a theory on that. This is just my thought, but because Demon's Souls was originally a PlayStation 3 exclusive launch title and got a remake launch title when the PlayStation 5 came out, so Bloodborne, which came out in the early part of PlayStation 4's lifetime, we might get an exclusive game for the PlayStation 6's early lifespan, you know? Probably about 2028 to 2031. But it's just hoping, and it's just a theory. A game! Bloodborne was first teased as Project Beast in 2014 and announced the same year at E3. The game got an amazing following and won a lot of awards and was a nominee for the GOTY but lost to Witcher 3, which is reasonable. Bloodborne has one of the best nightmarish worlds of gothic horror and eldritch madness that I have ever seen in a game. The city of Yharnam is heavily inspired by Victorian-era Europe with towering cathedrals, narrow cobblestone streets, and dimly lit alleyways. The architecture gives you that uneasy feeling that you're in some mad land. You don't feel safe in any corner of the map. I'm being serious, you can't let down your guard for a second in this game. What? You okay, Mo? You cool? Okay, I'm just gonna go on my way. What the fuck? It has the ambience that something is lurking around, and the same fear you felt when you were young and thought something was under your bed at night. Because of this creepy and unsettling mysterious vibe, I think it goes great with how FromSoft tells stories. Nothing seems to be right, and there are only hints and leftover memos, item descriptions, and level design to really figure out what happened and what's going on. That goes for the endings too. The 3 endings that this game has are all bad endings the way I see it. There are a lot of explanations on the endings, but I believe the most followed analysis, which thinks that all of the endings are loopholes that suggest the hunt in Yharnam will never stop. The first ending, getting killed by Gehrman, relieves you from the hunt and sends you away from the city. This is probably the best ending for the player themselves because they got what they came for and escaped that nightmare. The next ending is the saddest one in my opinion. After you say no to Gehrman killing you and killing Gehrman yourself, the moon presence comes down from the moon and blows you so hard that you have to use a wheelchair for the rest of your life as its minion and keep the hunt going to get the moon presence its blood. Yeah, you're just replacing Gehrman and becoming its second slave. The final ending is you killing the moon presence, and because you got so much blood from that, you want even more blood, that you become a baby squid and start a childhood with Mommy Doll. Damn, that is quite the saddest trinity of endings I've ever seen. The story itself is full of chaotic madness, and I feel that the combat style represents it perfectly. You have to play it like a madman and just charge into that motherfucker. The style of combat is more aggressive than the Dark Souls games and has a way faster style. Even the bosses are way faster in their movement and attacks. To complement that element, there is a rally system, which is basically time limited lifesteal, and also the weapons you use can shapeshift. Like, that is the coolest weapon mechanic I have ever seen in a game. The game was perfect. It had great bosses, lore, vibe, combat, but it just missed one tiny thing. A dumbass boss that is juiced up to the max so they make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So they released the Old Hunters DLC in November of 2015. It is filled with new bosses and new maps and stronger enemies all jumbled up to make a hot boil of fuck. The DLC is highly aggravating with the new enemies and locations that are so creepy that I don't even want to touch them. The real shit are the bosses. There were contestants for the hardest bosses in FromSoft game history before a game came out that every boss was like that, but that's another thing. My favorite boss is Ludwig, obviously, for the amazing transition from beast to hunter, and the Holy Moonlight Sword that is looking better than ever. And the best part is the OST. For me, this is one of the GOAT tracks, not only in FromSoft history, but gaming itself. Like, just listen to it. The next boss is Lady Maria, the cover girl.
A corpse should be left well alone. I can't see nobody but you for all my life.
Who is a bitch who uses Hinokami Kagura in Demon Blood art all by herself. Yeah. Next, finally we have the unholy bastard who is an infant that uses a placenta to slam your face. He doesn't even have a name or nothing. He's just called the Orphan of Kos, who crawls out of his mother's belly. Like, damn. That's how you make a final boss to a horrific game's nightmare DLC. But, honestly, the hardest boss is the frame rate. Bloodborne was great, even with 30 frames and pixels showing here and there, and still has a massive following to this day. Some even say it is the best out of the Soulsborne Sekiro Ring games. I don't really know about that, but the game did really surprise me. I had put Bloodborne aside for a long time because when I was in middle school, I was such a scaredy cat that I got scared playing The Last of Us. I got scared again when I played The Last of Us 2, but that's a different reason. Yeah, anyways, so naturally I put off playing the game where the first boss gives me nightmares and ear pain. Anyways, I'm glad I decided to give this game a try, and I hope they make another game that has this man in it. Now, this was the part that I was going to talk about the chances we might get a Bloodborne 2 or a new PlayStation exclusive or a Bloodborne remake, remaster, and something like that. But yeah, I was watching Nintendo Direct and Dust Blood's drops out of nowhere, and every comment in the comment section has Bloodborne in it. I mean, yeah, it's totally fine. So chances of getting Bloodborne 2 just went from 10% to 1%, but yeah, a lot of people are just thinking that this is Bloodborne 2, just named differently, and I think so too, but I still want Bloodborne 2, a game in the Bloodborne world, a sequel that shows us the ending of the hunt, the final boss being the player from the first game. We still have a lot of Yarnum to see, more stories to be told, many characters we want to see more of. I know Bloodborne 2 or a remake might never come out now, and even if it does, it's hard to live up to the name of the original. But I still long for it. I know it might not end, but I'll keep on dreaming.